tonight? You are mine? Excerpt. I hugged her waist and said, I am your present and your future too, darling. She brought her lips closer to mine and kissed me. Her eyes were closed, but I was just looking at her. She is, literally, breathtaking and beautifully beautiful. Her beauty isn't restricted to her clothes that she is wearing or the figure that she is carrying, but it is in her eyes. Her eyes are the doorway to heart. Her eyes reflect her unconditional love and faith for me. She looks like an angel. I feel blessed to be so close to her, and I feel blessed that it's a snowfall outside. My train was 3 hours late, so I reached Srinagar later in the evening. The journey was long and tedious, which wore out all my energy, but a shared glimpse of her at the platform re-energized me. It was the first time when we were meeting. The platform was very crowded and everyone was in a rush like any other platform. There were thousands of eyes, but I was looking for the best of them. Shambhavi, my love, as Facebook promises. Facebook helps you connect with people in your life. It really connected us and brought in each other's life. The map in my cell says Patna and Srinagar are 1870 kilometers apart, so we had never met before. Our love had started on Facebook and today we were meeting for the first time. It was very noisy around. Everyone was greeting one another and the small vendors were shouting like hell. Trains were whistling and coolies were crying for money. Everyone in the hundreds cared about themselves only, and so did I. In smell of tea and coffee, we approached to each other. We had been planning this moment for over 2 months, but when we actually met we were too shy for even a handshake. She was wearing a black jeans and a black and white pullover, complemented by a white scarf. She had applied a thin eyeliner and her cheeks looked rosy pink. Her eyelashes were big and body curvaceous. I scanned and concluded. She smiled at me and shook her hand with my hand and 2 gloves. Feeling cold, she asked me on seeing the 2 gloves. Just a little bit. I was too shy to talk to her. I was feeling terrible for creating an impression as I am some sort of a dumb. Huh, you are shivering. But Don? Worry you will adapt to the winter in few minutes? Yeah, I will, I mumbled and cursed the temperature. Anyways, I booked a room for you in Hotel Pleasure. It's just a walk away. So, you coming with me? I asked in surprise and simultaneously cursed myself for asking such a dumb question. So, you Don? Want me to come with you? Who have to come to meet here, Shambhavi or some other girl? She asked and poked my stomach. She was cool by now. Her poke was a hard one, but my 2 sweaters and a jacket saved me. I wrapped my hand around her and whispered in her ears. I have come to meet my wifey. She rolled her eyes and smiled at me. I smiled and whispered again. I love you, Samha. My name is Shambhavi, and not Samha. This is not a Sholay going around here, she corrected me and squeezed my nose. Huh. You have a habit of ruining my romantic mood. I call you Samha out of love, but you just hate it, I said and acted as if I was angered. I took my arms back and looked in other direction. My trick really worked. She walked fastly to match my steps and held my palm. I smiled and felt special. The warm touch of her palm expressed her closeness to me. It intensified the connection between us and silently said, I love you too, Saurabh. We were approaching our way to the Hotel Pleasure. But she stopped me in middle and took me to a coffee shop. So we will having coffee here? I asked. No. It's grocery store. Dawn. You see everyone bargaining with the sellers, and pointed a finger to everyone who were sitting on the red round tables and sipping coffee. I felt stupid and decided to keep my mouth shut. We went in and took the corner table. We sat on the wooden chair, facing each other, but I avoided any direct eye contact. A quote on the adjacent wall read, "Behind every loving couple, there are innumerable cups of coffee shared." A waiter, wearing a red jacket, came and I placed my order of 2 cappuccinos. I turned to her and stole a glance of Miss Pretty. She was smiling. Her smile was reflecting that she was very much happy and satisfied to finally meet me. She was just looking at me. I was equally happy to meet her and thought it's more stupid to be quite at such a romantic place. So I broke the silence and asked, "But we could have had coffee in my room too." "No, but it's costlier there." Who my typical Indian wifey, trying to save your hubby's money? I asked mischievously and winked at her. Her rosy pink cheeks blushed and she said, "No. It's not like that." "So, it's like what?" I asked and teased her in her tone only. "I thought you must be feeling cold, so this coffee will give you some warmth." She gave the answer flat, "But there are several other methods to give me warmth too. Should we try that?" I joked. She bowed her eyes and said, "I wanted to say something to you." We were very compatible during our chatting, but meeting her had made me some nervous, wondering what she will say. My heartbeats grew faster. Collecting all my fluctuating confidence, I asked, "What?" "Nakarang chespachot," she said softly and bowed back with a smile. "What is this? Are you abusing me in your language?" I was puzzled, but her eyes had already conveyed that it was something romantic. She was born in Ladakh and used to message me in Ladakhi sometimes, though I never understood those messages. "No, stupid. I am just saying. I am in love with you, Saurabh," she said in a shivering voice. Her words were magical like her. It stole away my nervousness and I became the original Saurabh, the guy who never shied from anyone. Had it not been a public place, I would surely have smooched her. We held hands and shared a romantic glance. I signaled her to let us move out of the cafe and make love, but she signaled back to have patience. We were not sharing any words, but our eyes were talking. Our so-called heart-to-heart was active. Soon, we ended our coffee, paid the bills and moved out to reach the coffee shop. I was taking quick steps, but she asked me to slow down. We entered the room that she had booked for me and I was surprised. As I unlocked the doors, a surprise welcomed me. I switched on the light and overlooked the whole room. She had decorated the whole white room. The curtains were silkered and the bedsheet was milky white. A big rose abricot was kept beside the bed and a large handmade card on the bed said, "I love you, Saurabh." My mouth was wide open as I dropped my heavy bag. "You like it?" she asked me. I didn't say anything. The theme of white and red had conquered over me. I just gave her a tight hug, said, "Dawn, do you ever leave me somehow? I'll die without you, my darling," and kissed her cheeks. Her cheeks went red with blush. She closed her eyes and tightened her arms that were around me. I continued, "I always fear to lose you. I feel as if someday you'll leave me and I want T be able to stop you. I feel as if I'll lose you to someone else. This long-distance relationship threatens me by all these thoughts. My life will be hollow somehow. Promise me, you will never go? My eyes were red, I had tears of joy, accompanied by the fear of losing whatever I had in life. Shamhavi didn't T say anything and tried going off my hug. I asked her, "Hey, what happened?" She was in tears too. She sat on the bed and I sat on the floor with my head in her lap, her fingers in my hairs, and she said, "You hurt me, Saurabh, you hurt me every time." She choked and continued, "I love you a lot, and then why the hell you think that I'll leave you? You say it every time." I turned my head up and was about to say something, but she put her fingers on my lips. I kissed them lightly. "No, let me say. Why do you fear that I'll go away with someone else? I'll never. You are the most adorable guy in my life. I have had some past, but my present is you, Saurabh." A tear fell on my cheeks from her eyes. I hugged her waist and said, "I am your present and your future too, darling." She brought her lips closer to mine and kissed me. Her eyes were closed, but I was just looking at her. Her complexion was pearl white, with a slight of red. Her lips were pink as a rose. Her earrings added to her beauty. She looked nothing less than the princess of those fairy tales. I felt blessed to be so close to her and closed my eyes. After the kiss, she asked me to have a bath. She said, "You stink. Go and have a bath." "Saurabh, have you even brushed your teeth? I knew you couldn't resist kissing me, so I had brushed twice in the train," I said and winked at her. She blushed and I went in the bathroom saying, "It would have been nicer if you two take a bath with me." And she didn't say anything. The bath was totally refreshing. The cramps gifted by the journey were gone. Thanks to warm water and the cup of coffee, I made sure I'd come out of the bathroom in full clothes. Thought we had just kissed, but I made sure she didn't face any embarrassment seeing an Atsoka's eld, skeletal kinda boy. When I came back, I saw that she had switched off the lights and switched on the red night bulbs. The lighting made the feel more romantic. I said whatever came in my mind, "Is it a honeymoon somehow?" She came close to me, smelt me and said erotically, "It's a snowfall outside and I have informed Mama that I'll stay tonight at my friend's residence. Tonight, you are mine." I whispered in her ears. The warmth created by the heaters tempted me more. She laid on the bed and so did I. There was a soft and furry blanket too. My body was over hers. I kissed her forehead and then kissed behind her ears. She brought her hands under my shirt and clenched her nails on my back. We smooched. I passed my hands gently over her spines. We kissed each other's shoulders. I passed my hands round her navels and my hands went some above. The mood was all set just when I realized that she was a little bit uncomfortable. I stopped, kissed her forehead and said softly in her ears, "I have my whole to make love to you. But now, I just want to hold you and feel you, thanks. You know me so well. You understand me." She smiled and flashed her pearl-like beautiful teeth. I smiled and kissed her closed eyes. "Also, I want you to gain some strength. I don't think that you can satisfy "Me Sorub," she said after a deep sigh and mocked at me. I just gave her a slight slap on her lips, kissed her again and said, "Pahal ist mal Karen, Fervishwas Karen." She hugged me and said, "I love you so much." Our legs were tangled to each other and the furry blanket was over us. It was perfect. Perfect love. Now, as I look at her, I feel complete. This is the world that I want to be. Forever, a true story happening somewhere. Thank you watching.